people, this is Sonali, the melodramatic bookworm. If you've been here a while, then welcome back and thanks for joining back in. And if you're new to my channel, then welcome to the melodramatic bookworm family. I make book related videos on this channel and occasionally a few travel related and a few movie related videos as well, although I haven't done those in a while. But if you like my content, if you like the kind of videos you see on my channel, then don't forget to hit subscribe and click on the bell icon so that you can stay updated as and when I post new videos. I'm here today with an Indian author recommendation video. Let me set a little bit of context as to why I'm doing this video on this day. I should have done this video a long time ago. I mean, in the 2.5 years of my channel, I have never done an Indian author recommendation video, and I'm like, what are you doing? So I thought 15th of August would be a good day to upload such a video. Today, that is the 15th of August 2020, we celebrate our 74th Independence Day. On the 15th of August 1947, we got independence from the British. So I thought since this video was a long time coming, this would be a great time to put it up and actually do an author recommendation video. I'll do a different book recommendation video sometime later. On this list you will find Indian authors, Indian origin authors, Indian authors who write in English, Indian authors who write in regional languages, Hindi, Telugu, Kannada. I would have loved to include authors from other Indian languages as well, but I didn't want to do a recommendation video in which I have not read a particular author's works, and since I don't know how to read the other languages, I'm just going to stay put. So without further ado, let's get into this video and let me share with you 25 authors who you definitely should read, who I've read and loved and that would highly recommend to you. So the first author I'm going to talk about is Sharath Komaraju. His Hastinapur series is an amazing mythological retelling slash fiction kind of series, and it is so beautifully written. It's a retelling of the Mahabharata. There are 5 books in this series so far and more are coming, and I'm really excited to read. It's not that he just writes mythological fiction, he's also written murder mysteries and some contemporary fiction which will twist your mind, like Nari, Murder in Amravati, Donuskars. There's a lot of things going on in his repertoire over there, but he writes beautifully, and he is one author who I want to see more people read the books of, but I haven't seen a lot of people read his books. If you ever pick one book up, do let me know, we can gush over his writing later. Next up is Nikita Gill. You know how much I love Nikita Gill because she writes so amazingly well. Her poetry is so heart-rending, heartwarming, heartbreaking, everything. But more than anything, it is empowering. And you read her works and you think, this is an interesting interpretation of the whole thing. I've read 3 of her works, which are Wild Embers, Fierce Fairy Tales, which is one of my favorite books of all time, and Great Goddesses. All 3 are amazing and I would highly recommend Nikita Gill to you. Next up is Kannada author Vivek Shanbhag. His book Ghazar Ghochar was one of my favorite books of 2018. I've read the translation, and the concepts, the emotions that he brought into the story, I'm not going to talk about the translation, I'm going to talk about the story. It is so brilliant in its depiction of day-to-day life, but it also talks about how things can change and how you also need to change with time. And I just think that he is someone that everyone must read, and if you're fluent in Kannada, if you can read Kannada, then I would highly recommend his work to you. Read it in Kannada because then you will, get all the essence of what the author is trying to say. Next up is one of my favorite writers of all time. I've read Chitra Divakaruni's The Palace of Illusions, which I absolutely love, and The Forest of Enchantments. Both of these are mythological retellings. She has written in other genres as well, but these 2 books were really good, especially The Palace of Illusions. It was a retelling of the Mahabharata from Draupadi's perspective, and she has knocked it out of the park because she brings in perspectives and points of view that you will not have thought of before. Her book The Mistress of Spices is also on my TBR. I'm really looking forward to reading more of Chitra Banerjee's work and hope that you will love her works too. Next up is Jhumpa Lahiri. I have not read a lot of Jhumpa Lahiri's works, but I have read The Clothing of Books. It's a very tiny book, only like about 60-70 odd pages, and I loved her writing. It's not a book from which you can judge an author's writing style and whether or not you like it, but I did enjoy her non-fiction writing, and I'm really sure that I will like The Namesake as well. I have 2 of her books on my TBR, The Namesake and Unaccustomed Earth, and I am really looking forward to it. So yes, if you want raw evocative writing, then Jhumpa Lahiri is the one that you should turn to, because I found that rawness in a non-fiction book. Imagine what's going to happen if I read her fiction books. Next up is a classic author, and that author is R.K. Narayan. His works, The Guide, Malgudi Days, are absolute classics. Like, people go crazy about these books. His books are easy to read and you will relate to at least one character from all of these books. R.K. Narayan's books have a high level of relatability for us because we see ourselves in his characters. It feels like he knows what each one of us is like, and he took our qualities and he put them in his characters. So if you're looking for a purely amazingly everyday life of an Indian kind of a story, then this is one author that you should definitely check out. He is amazing. Next up is a classic Hindi writer called Munshi Premchand. If you like reading in Hindi, then I would highly suggest you read the book, and while you're reading, listen to the audiobook as well if you can. I love Munshi Premchand's writing because it's so atmospheric. It takes you back. It makes you feel like you are in that place. His books tend to be on the longer side, but it will be completely worth it reading his books. And I think that even translations are also available. The translation was published in 1968 if I'm not mistaken, so you can also go for that. Next up is Ruskin Bond. He needs no introduction. Like, children's literature flourishes because he is there, like he writes. But the thing is, not only children will love his books, adults will also enjoy his books because they are so easy to read, so free, so fluid, and his stories have this certain kind of moral. Every story of his has a certain kind of a moral and an appeal that you will not get anywhere. Like The Room on the Roof, The Angry River, Maharani. Maharani is more for adults, and then there is The Blue Umbrella, The Cherry Tree. There are a lot of stories by him that you can start reading, and I'm really sure that you will love them. Next up is a Telugu writer called Volga. That's her pen name. Her original name is P. Lalita Kumari, and I have read a translation of her work. It is called The Liberation of Sita, and it is a retelling of the Ramayana from Sita's perspective. It's a feminist kind of retelling, and I love the concepts that she has put in there. And imagine the line of thinking that has to get you to this point, to such a brilliant book. Volga is an author that I would highly recommend, and I really think that if you know how to read Telugu, then please go and read it in Telugu. The translation is good as well. It gets across the points that the author makes really well. Next up is another lovely author who writes children's stories, and which also cater to adults, by the way, because children's stories are the lifeblood. Okay, I absolutely love them because of how pure, how real, how amazing they are. And Sudha Murthy, she knows how to write them. She knows how to put her thoughts into words and bring those stories to a child and make that child fall in love with reading. Even when she talks about her own experiences, she writes in a way that anybody can read. Even the books that she puts forth as just fiction, not children's literature, even children can pick it up and read and learn so much from them. And her writing is just, it's love. So if you're looking for easy breezy reads and beginner level of reading, Sudha Murthy is one of the best places that you can start reading from. So next up is Zareen Khan. She writes humorous stories from day-to-day life of a woman in India who goes through certain things, and about how Indian society has expectations from women as well as from working people in general. I loved Koi Good News. And there's also I Quit Now What, and she has written a character in there who talks about how she wants to quit the job she's in because she was not happy in there, and she wants to do something but she doesn't know what to do. And it sort of felt like a personal it was calling out to me on so many levels. So that's the thing about Zareen Khan's books. You'll find someone in those books who you will relate to, and the humor in there is phenomenal. Next up is a very famous author, Amish Tripathi, and he is known for his Shiva trilogy and his Ramchandra series, and for a book called Immortal India. His Shiva trilogy is his best work till date, and then followed by Ravan, and then followed by Ram, and then Sita. But still, his retellings, his fictionalizing of the Indian epics, of Indian mythological characters, of Indian gods and goddesses, is written in a way that is completely believable for some reason. He has written it amazingly well. I love his writing style, and he is one author who I will always look fondly upon because of how much I loved the Immortals of Meluha. When it had come out, I had no idea what it was, what was going on, but slowly and steadily I came to love it, and when that trilogy ended, I cried like a baby. So you can imagine how impactful his writing is. Next up is an author who I read pretty recently, and I really think that everyone should read the book that she has written, and that author is Nivedita Menon. She is a feminist writer and a professor at JNU, and she has written this book called Seeing Like a Feminist, and she has brought together a lot of references in the book, but they make so much sense when they are together. She talks about how feminism in conjunction with law, religion, spirituality, sexuality and all of this works, and she has brought together that thing, and her writing style is simply brilliant. I mean, she is a professor, so it would be completely acceptable and reasonable that her book reads like a textbook, but I feel like that is something that we all need. Her writing and her easy way of explaining things is what we all need. Next up, Jerry Pinto. I've read 2 of his works. One of them was a translation which he did from Marathi to English. The book that he wrote himself is called M and the Big Home, and it talks about mental disorders, and not only about how the person going through that is feeling, but also about the people around that particular person. But Jerry Pinto has done an amazing job on both the books, and I find that his writing style, it reflects in the translation as well, and that is something that I really enjoyed, because M and the Big Home was a book that made me feel things, and that very essence of that book, of that author, it was very clear in Cobalt Blue as well. Next up is another Kannada author called S.L. Bhairappa. His works are supposed to be few of the most beautifully Indian works there are. I mean, I don't know how else to put it, but S.L. Bhairappa has this knack of taking that Indian feeling and putting it into words. He knows how to touch that chord because he knows the thoughts of the Indian people, and he takes that and he puts it into his stories, and I really love it. The perspectives that he brought out in that book, it was simply amazing. Like, the moment you think that this person is right, the other person is wrong, I'm completely angry at them, he brings out something completely different that will make you think, I cannot claim that what I am thinking is right. And to make a person look inside themselves and to make them re-evaluate their own morals, that is something else, and S.L. Bhairappa does it in droves. If you know Kannada, read in Kannada. If not, then try to read the translated work. Next up is an author who I have not read, but I've heard a lot of things about this author, and the reason that she is in this set and not in the at the end in the honorable mentions is because I recently bought a book of hers called Draupadi, the Tale of an Enchantress. Not Enchantress, I'm really sorry. Draupadi, the Tale of an Empress. What is wrong with me? That's Mohini. Okay. Draupadi is not an enchantress. What the hell? And I'm really excited to read that book, and the author I'm talking about is Sai Swarupa Iyer. If you follow her on social media, you'll see that she is a champion of the Hindu traditions and of Indian literature in general, and she is so knowledgeable. She is a scholar in her own right, and I really love going through her tweets, going through her posts, and know that I am really excited to read Draupadi, and I think that you should also go for it. If you'd like, I'll make a review video of the book on my channel. Next up is Andaliep Wajid. I really love Andaliep Wajid's writing because of how easy breezy, light and funny it is. She paints a story that is so beautiful, so nice. I mean, you just want to, you know, go into the pages and give them a hug because of how adorable they all are. And because of this, you learn a lot about Muslim customs as well. And I love her writing, and I'm looking forward to more of her writing, and I really think you all should also go and give her a try. Next up is Meena Kandaswamy. I have read her book When I Hit You, and her writing is raw. It puts out the pain that a character goes through so well that it reaches out of the book and clutches at your heart like you didn't need it. But yes, if you're reading something as beautiful as Meena Kandaswamy's writing, then you don't need your heart. You just give it away to her, because that's exactly what happens. And she writes in a sort of a matter-of-fact way, but you see that pain that is underlining all those words and that she is trying to convey to you. Like, whatever she writes about, she writes beautifully, and I feel like she is one author who everybody must read. Next up is K.R. Meera. This author writes in Malayalam, and I don't know how to read Malayalam, so I've read her translated works. I read The Poison of Love, which was phenomenal, and I've also read The Angel's Beauty Spots. Her writing is, it's sort of on the more fantastical plane, if you could call it. Like, you think about these things that happen and then what would happen, what could happen. She thinks of all these and she brings it to life on those pages, and I really love it. And I really think that K.R. Meera is one author among this list who you should definitely read. Next is Anita Nair. I have read two of her books. One is Alphabet Soup for Lovers, and the other is Eating Wasps, and both were so concentrated on the women characters in there that I really loved them. She talks about a woman's experiences and what she does when she is confronted with a conundrum, be it moral or anything else, like what sort of a path she sets out on. And I love that about her writing, and I really loved how the woman is the front and center. Even if she's not making the right choices, the woman is the front and center. Like, it's so human, it's so raw that I loved reading both of them. Anita Nair's Mistress is also on my TBR, and I'm really excited to read it, especially because of how stunning that cover is. Next up is Aarti V. Raman. Her books are contemporary, mostly contemporary, and she writes about the characters' day-to-day lives. It's like she's talking about your own day-to-day life. The characters, even though the writing is so breezy, it's easy to read, and the characters are so nuanced, so layers, that you just want to know more about them with every page you turn. And that is something that she does very well. I've been a fan of hers ever since I've read The Worst Daughter Ever, and I fully intend to read every one of her works soon, and I suggest you do the same too. Next up is Anuja Chandramouli. She writes mostly about Indian history and Indian mythology, Hindu mythology. She's written Ganga, the Constant Goddess, Mohini, the Tale of an Enchantress, and about Muhammad bin Tughlaq. And I read Ganga, and I really liked how she brought it all together in the end. It's not a fictionalized version of anything, it feels like. She just told the story again. It's more of a retelling than a fictionalized mythological fiction, and she knows how to do it really well. I was really impressed by her work. But if you're looking for mythological retellings, then Anuja Chandramouli is one author you should not ignore. You will learn a lot by reading her books. Next up is Hindi author Divya Prakash Dubey. I've read two of his books, Masala Chai and Musafir Cafe, and I really enjoyed both of them. They are contemporary works, and one of them has a reference to Gunaho Ka Devta, which is an absolute classic, and he has brought those characters to life in a way that you will really enjoy reading, because it's not the really complex Hindi of past. It's almost like colloquial Hindi, but it's not exactly that. But it will be easy to read. So combined with this, the easy language and the easy flow of the story. Divya Prakash Dube's works you should definitely pick up if you can read Hindi. Next up is an Indian origin author who is also an actor who worked in 30 Rock, and that person, that author is Maulik Pancholi. His book The Best at It, I read it last year and I enjoyed it so much. It's so beautiful, it's easy to read. I think it's classified as a middle grade book, and it's so sweet, I cannot tell you. He talks about the experiences of an Indian gay kid growing up in America, and it's so wonderfully written, it's so wholesome, and he's a complete nerd, okay, which is in the most positive way possible. And Maulik Pancholi shows in this book that there's nothing wrong with being a nerd, there's nothing wrong with being knowledgeable, but there are lots of lessons to be learned from this book, and Maulik Pancholi's writing makes it so amazing. I mean, it was one of my 5-star reads of 2019, and discovering Maulik Pancholi as an author was one of my high points of 2019. So he's one that you should definitely not miss. Rounding off this list is Anuja Chauhan. She writes some amazingly hilarious, witty Indian stories. Like, you could go to the street beside yours and you could find a character like her, like in one of her books, in that street. Her writing is easy and also approachable as a reader as well as a writer. If you want to study her works into how to write contemporary Indian contemporary works, then her books are something that you should definitely study. So those were the Indian author recommendations I had for you. There are also other authors who I have not read yet, like Amrita Pritam, Salman Rushdie, Shashi Tharoor, Vikram Seth, Amitav Ghosh, and Kiran Desai and Arvind Adiga, and I intend to read their books because I have a few of their books on my TBR. These authors, I will read them sometime. I don't know when, obviously, but I will read them and then I will make recommendations based on what I think of them. So what did you think of this video? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Have you discovered a lot of Indian authors from this video? Will you be going and picking their works up? I sure hope you do, and I hope that if you do pick these authors up, or at least one of these authors up, that you will enjoy reading them. Let me know in the comments below which Indian authors you have read so far, which ones you plan to pick up, which ones do you want to stay away from for some reason, which ones are your favorites, which ones do you not like. Let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, please like it and share it to spread the word. And if you like my content and would like to see more from me, don't forget to hit subscribe and click on the bell icon beside the subscribe button to get notified as and when I post new videos. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Until next time, keep reading, keep watching, and add melodrama to your life.